Today, we're diving into the Caregiving 101 Self-Study Guide. It's a resource designed to bring a little bit of hope and a whole lot of strength to what is, for many, one of life's most challenging and also most meaningful roles.
This quote from the guide really just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? For so many people, the role of a caregiver doesn't start with some big announcement. It creeps in, often totally unexpectedly. And before you even realize it, you're on a journey you never, ever planned for. So let's talk about how this journey usually kicks off. It's almost never a single decision. It's more like a series of small shifts, things that just build and build over time until one day, everything changes. Inside the guide, we're introduced to Maria, and her story is probably going to sound pretty familiar to some of you. It all started with her mother having these minor memory lapses. The kind of thing you might just brush off as a normal part of getting older. But then, there's the turning point. For Maria, it was a single, terrifying phone call. A neighbor had found her mom wandering outside, totally lost and confused, right outside her own house. And in that one moment, that quiet little worry became a loud, urgent reality. All of a sudden, Maria was a caregiver. She's juggling doctor's appointments, medications, her mother's safety, all on top of her own life. And yeah, she felt completely overwhelmed. But something really beautiful started to happen too. In the middle of all that chaos, she found this new, unexpected closeness with her mom. It became a journey of love, really. And that journey, as this resource makes so clear, is just full of unexpected challenges. It's way more than just helping out. It's a role where you have to wear many, many different hats. Now, what I love about this slide is how it breaks down that complexity. Think about it. On any given day, a caregiver might be an emotional rock, a medical advocate, a super detailed organizer, and a companion. Juggling all of that is where the exhaustion really starts to set in, because you're almost never doing just one thing. And this visual brilliantly illustrates a huge source of tension. See, the caregiver is often laser-focused on safety and health, but the person receiving care, well, they're fighting to hang on to their independence, their dignity. The guide shares this story about a guy named David who just wanted to help his fiercely independent dad, but every single offer of help was seen as an attempt to take control because his father was literally grieving the loss of his own autonomy. All this constant stress and emotional drain, it can lead you down a really dangerous path. The guide uses this incredible analogy about a frog in slowly heating water. The change is so gradual, you don't even realize the danger until you're completely overwhelmed and burned out. Robert's story is such a powerful example of this. He promised he'd care for his wife, Linda, at home. But as her needs got bigger and bigger, he slowly gave up everything that refueled him. His exercise, his friends, even going to church. He was so focused on caring for her that he totally forgot to care for himself, and he was left just utterly exhausted. Okay, so if that's the tough reality of the journey, how in the world do you find the strength to keep going? This is where the guide really starts to offer a structured path forward. The guide itself isn't just there to give you information. It's really designed to equip you, to give you the tools you need to actually navigate this incredibly complex role. And its structure is pretty unique. On one hand, it's a self-study tool, so it allows for that quiet, private reflection. But it's also designed as a resource for small groups, which creates a community where caregivers can actually share what they're going through and learn from each other. So let's peek at some of the core lessons the guide offers. It does a great job of blending practical, real-world advice with timeless wisdom to tackle the biggest challenges caregivers face. To deal with that challenge of conflict, for example, the guide points to this core principle. The idea is that so many disagreements can be dialed down just by making sure the other person feels heard before you jump in and react. And then it translates that wisdom into these really practical steps. First, just accept that disagreements are going to happen. It doesn't mean you're failing. Second, try to look for the emotion behind the words. Is it really anger or is it fear of losing independence? And third, just truly listen. It's such a simple framework, but so powerful. And for that deep down exhaustion of caregiving, the kind that Robert felt, the guide offers this reminder. It's basically an invitation to find rest and strength from a source that's bigger than yourself. It's an acknowledgement that you can't, and you are not expected to, carry this massive weight all by yourself. And that brings us to what might be the single most important message woven through this entire guide. It's a message of community, of shared experience, and ultimately, of hope.
These are the specific goals for that small group part of the guide. It's all about creating a safe space where you can feel supported, where you can make sense of your role, process the emotional toll, and, this is critical, figure out when and how to ask for help. And it's constantly turning the focus right back to you, the caregiver. Each lesson ends with a reflection, asking questions just like this one. Because the truth is, if you don't care for yourself, you just can't sustain the care for someone else. So really think about it. What is one small, practical step you could take? Ultimately, this is the final takeaway. The core message of the Caregiving 101 guide is that this journey, with all of its incredible challenges and its moments of profound love, well, it was never meant to be a solo mission. The goal is to find your community, to lean on it, and to remember that you absolutely deserve to be cared for too.